Do you want to meet Corey Feldman and Jameson Newlander, the real Frog Brothers? Join us, the Frog Brothers Podcast, August 20th and 21st in San Antonio, Texas for the Summer of Santa Carla presented by Kings of Horror. Help celebrate the 35th anniversary of one of our favorite films, The Lost Boys. With screenings, autographs, artists, vendors, oddities, readings, comics, food, and more. Plus your favorite podcast hosts, Alec, Justin, and Nick. Go to socialrevoltstore.com for tickets and be sure to follow Kings of Horror on Instagram for updates. Looking to win tickets? Listen to the Frog Brothers Podcast from now until the event and be sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts for more chances to win. At Frog Bros Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. We'll see you in Texas.
Yeehaw!
Hi, I'm Jameson Newlander, Alan Frog from The Lost Boys, and you're watching the Frog Brothers Podcast.
What's Scooby-Doo running from a spooky ghost?
It's refreshment time, folks.
Are either one of these any good?
Do you like scary movies?
I don't watch movies.
I have to return some videotapes.
You have a TV? No. I just like to read the TV guide. Read the TV guide. Don't need a TV.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me Shell. It's the fucking truth.
Over 1,600 titles, each for rent at just $2 the first night, and only
Finish him.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, but you are aware that there's an invention called television, and on this invention they show shows, right?
Watch a few movies, take a few notes.
Okay, I want channels 18, 24, 63, 109, 87, and the Weather Channel.
Welcome to the Frog Brothers Podcast with your hosts, Justin and Alec.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Frog Bros Podcast.
Woo!
My name is Justin.
I'm Alec.
And I'm Nick. And I have no idea what number
What's going on?
We don't know what number it is.
Because you've been re-uploading and now they're all
I
out of order.
foresee I have a strong...
Hold on, I need the sound clip.
Is it 120?
No, it's one. Hold on, I got it. Don't say anything else. Don't say it.
I have a strong psychic belief
That it's episode 117.
No, I don't think that's right.
Good enough for government work. Either way, so tonight I've got a Pepsi, or a Nitro Pepsi.
Yeah, what the hell is
Smooth,
that?
creamy, easy to drink.
Do you inhale it or what?
No, it's got nitrous oxide Perrier.
instead
of carbon monoxide.
Well,
or
let me have a
carbon,
taste.
yeah.
Let me have a taste.
Carbon dioxide. Sorry.
Pour a little bit on my lid.
No, get your own. You can get these in anywhere.
I'm not going to buy it and then don't like it. Is that the real noise or are you making that out of your mouth? What the fuck? It's exploding.
Well, if you ever have a fun night, that's what your butthole sounds like at the end of it.
I hope not.
Oh, yes. You hope so. Believe me.
What, the fizz?
Foaming and frothing and fizzing at the ass. Welcome to the Frog Brothers Podcast. You should have made an advertisement for this Nitro Pepsi for Top Gun.
I'm a Scientologist.
It's pretty smooth. It's good. I don't normally like Pepsi, but it's
wait.
less sweet.
I like
feel.
the idea of Pepsi more than I like Pepsi.
I know. You're like, oh, Pepsi sounds kind of refreshing.
Did we do America? No, wait, Do America. Didn't we?
What are you talking about?
Did
Nick?
we do the universe last week?
Yeah.
Is it uploaded yet? I don't know. I'm not an art critic.
If you're looking at YouTube,
No,
YouTube's not fully updated.
We did Midsummer last week.
Yeah, Alec is still uploading content.
The podcast feed is pretty up to date on the audio side, but it's
So we're like 118, I think.
because I'm uploading. I'm fixing the YouTubes right now. It's hard to explain. I haven't been uploading the videos because I want them all to actually be in order. Because if I upload it in weekly, as I'm re-uploading the other stuff, it would just get jumbled in.
I think we're around 118 or something.
Somewhere around
It'll
there.
say on the
I'm
thumbnail.
pretty sure it's 117.
No.
I don't really.
Because 115 was Do America, and then we did Do the Universe, and then we did...
Midsummer, which was not a regular episode.
Well, what was the regular... Oh, Small Soldiers. So Small Soldiers is 117. So this one should be 118.
You say so.
We'll see what I uploaded and didn't.
You might not upload it in that order.
I mean...
No, because there's Like Event Horizon, we've reviewed that, and I haven't uploaded that fucking shit yet. So that's why I'm like,
That's a Haunted by Tapes, though, right?
yeah.
Okay.
He's a little bit.
You got a hell of a backlog then.
Do the Universe was the last thing I uploaded on July 4th.
But then we did Small Soldiers after that. So.
I'm behind, but
How behind are we? A couple weeks at this point?
not like really.
2 to 3?
I need to
at
upload.
least 2 weeks.
Well, the I've been trying to make sure the regular actual. This is behind the scenes for everybody. I'm trying to make sure the actual numbered ones have been getting uploaded fairly frequently, at least by the time we're recording. So this was specifically late. But
I release this one immediately because we're reviewing a new movie.
Well, it'll get. I'll probably have to do a double banger.
Double banger.
Do 117 of Small Soldiers and 118 at the same time.
That's why you got 2 hands. 2 fists.
But yeah, it's been a thing. So, but once the YouTube gets caught up, then it will be less confusing there.
Justin, you gonna do show and tell first?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little show and tell here. So I got the Stranger Things Energizer flashlight, the Demogorgon hunting flashlight. Now this is based off a vintage 80s model flashlight, which is very popular.
Oh.
I ordered this one from Walmart.com. I saw it in stores and all the boxes were fucked up. And lo and behold, I get one shipped from Walmart.com in a box that the box is fucked up. That already has the fucking batteries opened in it. So I don't know if somebody fucking returned it or whatever, but obviously you can't really tell. It's just irritating as fuck because they ruined the box.
I will crush your bones into dust!
Don't touch my flashlight.
Don't touch that
flashlight.
It's not a
my
flashlight.
lunch.
I like it though. It's pretty fucking bright.
It's got some heft to it, and
I'm the leprechaun.
Go away, leprechaun man.
I'm like fucking washed out here in the video. Oh my god, that is so bright. It says it has an 80-hour runtime. And it's got one of these little belt clips on it. Pretty heavy duty. If you needed to fuck somebody up with this, it's kind of like Energizer's equivalent of the old Maglite, because you could really do some damage with this.
I'm really gonna do some damage with this scoop.
Is that LED?
Yes.
Did they have those in the 80s?
No, this is a remake of it. They stopped selling this model in the 80s. But not a bad price. $20 for a hell of a flashlight. And those batteries, they say it lasts 80 hours, so actually be handy for camping and shit. But it's got a little Hawkins National Laboratory thing on there and someone's fake signature saying it's their flashlight. And then it's got some little Morse code up here that you're supposed to be able to decode. I've been too lazy to do any of that yet, but, you know, here we are.
Do it.
Pretty nice.
I always sign my flashlights.
I sign my flashlights because I don't want anyone else using those.
I mean, you could see what I do. You could call what I do to them as signing
a work of art,
if you will.
A war crime.
That too. It's definitely the Geneva Convention just doesn't allow for what I do to that flashlight. So,
yeah, it does.
You sure? Sure about that?
I don't know. I don't think the Geneva. I don't think the Jean Grey Convention.
Have you ever used mustard gas as lubricant?
No, but if I was suicidal, I
Use
might.
mustard.
That's even better.
Some Dijon. Some Grey Poupon.
Yeah, if you had enough of it on there and you didn't dry it out, probably wouldn't be fine.
Burned your pee hole a little bit.
That's why you put a little hat on your dingalinger.
I'm a mustard man.
So you got lots of news for us.
Yeah, you said you got news. Where is all this fucking news?
News. You guys.
Some of what you are about to see and hear is explicit.
How much is this?
I don't know.
God
Same
damn,
price
you
as a regular.
drank the...
Fucking thirsty. God damn it, Nick.
He's like, oh, you drank it. Well, I fucking buy drinks to drink. You drank it all really
real
quickly
quick,
is what I'm talking about.
Since you did your pickups, these aren't pickups exactly. I tore them out of
magazines.
Well, really bad in bad shape comic books.
Get on camera.
Were they mild comics?
No, these ones weren't.
Okay.
These were actually.
You on camera? Say hi.
I just bought like a couple of the clearance stock of comics at Vintage Stock. Made sure to get the era from about 87 to 95. So this one is a advertisement for the Wayne's World VCR board game.
What?
Woo! We're all gonna die in here, folks. Actually, that's a pretty dope look, but we're gonna have to fix this.
That's okay. I got a flashlight tonight. As long as you didn't ruin anything. Did your vintage Pepsi can get dented?
I hope not. I mean, shit happens. But
I like the ring this is making around the camera. Everyone watching is probably like, I hate you. This must be how Luke Skywalker felt on Tatooine. Untouch your bean. Unflick your bean.
All right. Well, anyway, that's the Wayne's World VCR board game.
I didn't know they made one.
I didn't either until I saw this ad.
Huh. I had the Star Trek The Next Generation VCR board game.
Some of these I'm going to frame. This one is the Batman Returns Konami ad for NES.
The Hook video game.
Batman Returns.
I liked Batman Returns. That was a good game.
Yeah, or X-Men on videos on the back, but I like the Batman Returns more.
You can buy Wayne's World VCR board game for $40 plus $15.48 shipping right now on eBay.
Not surprised.
So they actually sold new scenes for it?
I'm going to frame as Christmas decorations because I'm that weird, but it's a special offer ad. Christmas shit.
Oh, back order issues of comics?
Yeah. And a free Marvel Comics from Kool-Aid.
Hell yeah.
Ad, which I posted on social medias. And the last one here is a Spider-Man fruit roll-ups.
Fuck yeah, I remember those.
You'll really eat up Spidey's latest adventure.
Mm-hmm. I ate that web fluid. Fruit roll-up.
Ew.
You ate Spider-Man's cum?
No, it was web fluid. It didn't come from his penis. It came from his wrists.
Oh, that's what he said.
Could have been his
He was
blood,
going
too.
like this, so, I mean, you don't never know. It's really
That's
close.
routed from his
I had my eyes
testicles.
closed because I didn't want it in my mouth.
Okay.
Somehow I got there anyway.
Now the news.
Oh,
What's
yeah,
all
yeah,
the news you've got?
The news. Clerks 3 trailer dropped. What'd you guys think? You excited? Yes
I
or
mean,
no?
other people are trashing it, and I didn't think it looked like super great or anything, but it looks like,
The people who like the second one trash it? Because I think it looks about on par as the second one.
Well, that's what I expect and hope.
Yeah.
I expect more heart out of it, to be honest, just because Kevin Smith changed as filmmaker. And if you've seen Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, then you know what your expectations should be. It's a lot of people didn't like that movie, and they feel like it's going to be too much of that. And I didn't think it was, super great, but I'm just kind of also a Kevin Smith stan, so I don't really mind too much. Even if it's bad, I'm going to kind of buy it and love it and enjoy it. So
I know what to expect out of his movies. I know he does a lot of other projects and stuff, too, but I know he's just kind of in his comfort zone with these, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine.
I'm a big fan of his in general, and I remember when he went through this heart attack that he basically autobiographied into this movie. That was terrible wording.
Seeing him go to be vegan was one of the reasons I was like, oh, I can do that. Kevin Smith can do that. I can do that. I remember all the controversy when he got charged for a second plane seat because he was so heavy and shit. And he was really fucking on edge. He was fucking 1 foot out the door.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna be a little more sentimental when you get a second shot at life.
But the movie, I think, I'm gonna give it a shot for sure. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Looks like fun. I think going back to some familiar locations from the original Clerks, I think will be interesting, at least to begin with, and then hopefully they do some other stuff as they shoot their movie in there. But I thought it looked.
He's not going to do a similar release style that he did with the last Jay and Silent Bob reboot, right?
Well, this one has Lionsgate behind it, but I know he is doing a film tour, but that's not necessarily all he's doing. I don't know for sure, but I would hope that we'll be able to go to that.
I think this one will have a tentpole name enough to... I would say this has a little bit more of a broader audience than just Jay and Silent Bob alone does.
Should hit indie theaters for sure. Screenland's probably going to do something at one point, if not having an event with him.
Screenland showed a reboot, didn't they?
I'm not sure. I wasn't here for that. I saw it in Memphis. I saw the Fathom Events version or whatever.
Yeah, that was my...
light over again.
Got the free poster.
First news item, though, I was pretty excited about it. Everyone's like, oh, you need to do Mallrats 2, and I think they're still talking about doing that, but they said, you'll have an easier time getting Clerks 3 made before you do Mallrats 2, and I was like, yeah, okay, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
Do it for all the malls close.
Yeah.
But that's probably the story.
As we're a couple days away from Prime, yeah. What do you do when the malls close? All right, so my next news item was there's two competing games that also had a comics crossover. Terminator and RoboCop, each respectively, have their own open-world video games coming. The RoboCop is much
open
further
world.
The Terminator is supposed to be open world. I don't know about RoboCop. RoboCop's FPS.
That's actually disappointing because that actually sounds like it would be a better first open world game would be RoboCop to me.
Yeah.
I just heard the Terminator one was. But I don't.
The RoboCop trailer looked pretty cool.
Yeah, looks good.
I saw the trailer for that. The
Peter
Terminator
Weller's
one,
back.
The Terminator one just had like a key art frame released and just discussing it, but I think they probably saw RoboCop and was like, hey, we need to hit the same news cycle.
They haven't said when the game Terminator takes place.
What I heard on that was that it takes place shortly before the war we see.
Oh.
Or like shortly before like the future war you see in like Terminator and Terminator 2.
Oh.
So.
Is there going to be purple lasers?
I fucking hope so.
And skulls being run over by tanks.
Yes.
That's
Make
what
it
I
terrifying.
need. That's what I need.
This is before that. We get to see where all those skulls came from.
Yeah, like there's a reason why everyone loved the old fucking Terminator arcade games, because it looked like the shit straight out of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Give me that and just a more in-depth game.
It's the same company making both of these, right?
I don't know about that.
I thought that was the case, but I don't know.
Yep. Stranger Things TMNT crossover toy line from Playmates. I don't know if I need that, honestly.
I don't care. Ninja Turtles crossover with a lot of things, and people find it interesting.
Ninja Turtles over. Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
They got the Karate Kid crossovers.
If you do, cool for you, and buy them, sure.
Yeah.
Support it, but I don't give a fuck, personally.
Well, you just look at TMNT's kind of crossed over so much stuff now. You know, in the 90s, they did it with Star Trek. Cool.
I don't have any Ninja Turtles toys, and I don't have any Stranger Things toys, so I'm good there.
Yeah, I've got the Stranger Things.
I would definitely not, if I was going to buy either, it would not be a crossover toy.
Yeah. I mean, I love the Ninja Turtles for nostalgia reason. I just don't collect the toy line because I don't have any room for it.
Yeah, I'm more nostalgic about that movie, so if I was going to collect any of the toys...
The movie and the games,
we had some of the Playmates toys, so it's like I'm nostalgic a little bit for those, but like not enough to go out and buy them.
Yeah, it's a tough line for me because I'm like, yeah, there's just so many now that there's... What do you have? Super 7 making them, you have NECA making them, you have Playmates still making them, so there's just... If you're a TMNT fan, that's amazing, but I just don't know where you get any of that and where you put it all once you get it, because there's just an insane amount of that.
Yeah.
Now, that said, I am excited about the comics that Tim's working on and the Shredder's Revenge game I haven't played yet. I didn't even say that right. Shredder's Revenge game. And then obviously they got the classics coming out, I think, this fall. It
doesn't have a set date yet. The placeholder still says December 31st. But sometime this year, I guess.
So... excited for that, but yeah, as far as TMNT goes, I'm just like, yeah, the Stranger Things toy line, like they have nothing in common, not even in the same place.
How would that story work?
I don't know. And like, even like as a Ghostbusters fan, I didn't pick up the TMNT Ghostbusters line they made. I was just like, yeah, you're making each of these a specific one.
Somebody made like customs recently. I saw circulating, and I was like,
they already released that professionally.
This exists.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't look bad or anything. I'm not like criticizing the work. I was just like, but why? But that's why that's the same question I gave to whoever made those. I think it was Hasbro, or Playmates. I don't know.
Playmates made those.
The crossover ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Either way,
they just do a lot of crossovers, which is cool if you're a big fan of those. But it just didn't scream to me. I was like, huh, that one just kind of felt funny. I was like, you can't even find the Stranger Things Bandai toys that are in line the Void series right now. Like, you can't find Eddie anywhere. All I see is Hopper, and then I see 11 in her little immersion suit, and you're like, okay. And a Demogorgon and a Demodog. But I'm not seeing any of the other characters besides the little vintage-looking line, so...
Yeah, they really missed the mark with that one, not going with NECA. I think more people would have bought Stranger Things. I would have even been like tempted to buy Stranger Things figures just because I have other figures in NECA's scale and style, and I know that they look really good. The other ones, it's like, they look not bad, but like the inconsistency of their... Like, I see 2 figures and then I never see any more again.
Well, the inconsistency of the availability, right?
And I don't mean the Fright Features looking ones, because they just have only done like 2 waves of those.
And that's all Bandai. So originally McFarlane Toys had the line.
Those are the cooler I'd probably buy those before any other ones. So.
And all I have is the Ghostbusters 4-pack from the McFarlane line. But I don't like the paint on those. The paint color looks terrible to me. But I got it on clearance for like $20 for the set of 4. So
yeah, I would have bought that if I ever came across that. I just never did.
Yeah. So, Stranger Things TMNT crossover line. We're starting to see a lot of San Diego Comic-Con stuff be announced and released. So there's like the Ghostbusters logo pin from Icon Heroes that's coming out that has a little wreath around it instead of the red banner. No logo. Salem's Lot was supposed to drop this fall. I believe it got pushed to April.
I believe.
April. That's the great time for early horror movies.
April of 2023. Yep. And then the big one here is fucking Mattel, man. I'm going to go off on
talking about that Barbie movie?
No. That's probably the best thing they've got going for them right now, honestly. I'm more excited about that than I am just about anything else Mattel's doing. For one, I have never felt that it was possible to be raped by the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and I feel like Mattel has found a way to rape my soul with the Tyrannosaurus Rex repaints. Not only do they have
very upset about
they
this.
have the Hammond Collection T-Rex that they fucking repainted, and then they've got fucking shelf. The shelf is so fucking
easy
warm.
money, man. It's easy money.
The shelf is so warm with all the fucking Ford Explorer and T-Rex 2-packs. And they can't fucking get rid of them. They're on sale at Target right now. I still haven't bought one because I already have a T-Rex, and it really pisses me off to buy another one that I don't want.
Shit-eating son of a bitch!
And more importantly, on top of that...
You want the vehicle, though.
I want the vehicle. But on top of that, they just announced the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. So the first year they did the Hammond with the gates and the little Velociraptor egg hatchery thing. Second one was the Dennis Nedry and the Barbasol can. Last year was Arnold. Mr. Arnold with the Raptors.
Twat!
And this year it's Gennaro with a T-Rex. But this T-Rex has a special paint job because he looks like he's wet.
Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
So they're going to fucking rehash me a goddamn T-Rex that I don't want, that I still don't have the Ford Explorer that I don't have because it's a fucking repaint. Exactly. God damn it. I'm fucking mad about it. Is anyone else mad about the number of fucking T-Rexes out there? And they don't even fucking give me good T-Rexes. Like, give me a T-Rex from Jurassic Park. Give me a T-Rex. The 3 T-Rexes you see in the Lost World, you got the mama, the papa, and the baby. Where are those
Son
at?
of a bitch.
People like to collect all these repaints.
Kenner did it right. When Kenner had the toy line in the 90s, or Hasbro technically, for the Lost World it was labeled Hasbro.
All right, everyone, chill.
No, we can't. We can't. I'm angry. I'm worked up. I'm pissed. I saw that. I was like, oh, I really want that. And then I realized, like, I don't want another fucking T-Rex. God damn it. We have a T-Rex. Like, that's the only thing. That must be on whoever's...
We have 14 T-Rexes.
We have 40,480 T-Rexes. They're just going to rape your soul because they're everywhere.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
It's everyone's problem because they can't even fucking sell the T-Rex they have on shelf right now. What makes them think they're going to sell this one? We put raindrops on it. Okay. You're going to paint him yellow and say it's the R. Kelly edition next year?
I find it's best to stay out of other people's affairs.
Yeah, it probably is. Probably is. All right, I feel a little bit better. I had to get that off my chest. That was really pissing me off earlier. Still is.
Just take the car out of the box.
And then return it.
And walk out of the store.
And then I'll return it with something else because people do that all the time anyway.
A different vehicle in there.
Yeah, I'll put a Teletubbies car in there.
Teletubbies.
Yeah, whoever's working returns at that place doesn't give a fuck. They're not paying that person enough to care. It's fine. All right.
Any other news?
You guys got any news?
I don't know.
Smoke weed every day.
Well, that's more like life advice coming from Alec. Oh, I got a new dog, I guess, named Buffy from the Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's a eat your dog joke. I guess. I don't know.
You thought it went off like funny. I could see by the look in your eye, you're like, this is going to hit really well. And then it didn't. And you're like,
it's going to hit really well with other weirdos like me out there.
Other people that are high, like, oh, God, that's brilliant. And everyone else can be like, what the fuck is Alec doing behind the board over there?
Oh, it's society collapses. You might have to eat their dogs.
I'll eat you before I eat my dog.
Look, it's hilarious.
I will be a cannibal before I eat dogs after the fall of humanity because fuck humanity.
Oh, I plan on being a cannibal after the fall of humanity. I'm just... Well,
Just
you can
know
be
that.
realistic about it, okay? That's what it's going to come down to.
stupid
So I'm
and
just going to
abundant.
start early. And I'm going to get into seeds and vegetables as well. So it's going to be like, seasoning. It's going to be good human.
You said it's going to be a motorcycle
It's going to be a motorcycle gang when we're going to be in like BDSM outfits that also look like armor and shit, kind of quasi-mix the two.
I mean, you may as well.
I'll have a motorcycle helmet that has like a gag ball on it, Fuck yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. That would be a great scene for Top Gun.
What?
The porn parody. Top Gun. The gag ball in the mouth while he's wearing a pilot's helmet. Anyone else?
Jesus!
That guy's a terrorist. All right. Well, we can move along to the next thing here. If you guys don't have any more news.
Who's a terrorist?
Jesus?
Peter McNichol?
No, Jesus was a terrorist.
Oh.
You think about it, he was a terrorist to Rome.
He said that right when he played the Peter McNichol.
Top 5. 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 Top 5.
This is top 5.
This is top 5.
Top 5.
Summer movie.
Oh my god. Movies set during the summer.
Yeah, there was some debate about this. Alec was laughing because I was pissed. I was like, it's got to be movies about summer. And Alex said, it could be movies released
No,
in the
because
summer.
it was just because you were still triggered from the internet shit that you were looking at. So the anger just transferred over and you were like,
I know.
well, that's bullshit!
I was accidentally mad at this because I was pissed about the T-Rex, really. That's what I was thinking about when we got into this conversation. I was like, wait.
Yeah, but T-Rex.
I'm angry about the T-Rex situation. I'm taking out on Alec for not having a more definitive top 5.
I was like, it's not that serious. It's just a top 5.
It's a goddamn repaint!
All right.
Okay, sorry. That may happen a few more times.
If I guess I'll go first, because, yeah, why not? My number 5 is Christmas Vacation.
Well, that came out in the summer.
No, well, I'm just kidding. It's The Sandlot.
Good choice. Just showed that
The
to me.
Sandlot is a glorious movie that when I think about, I specifically think about, like, I have flashes of certain scenes in this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's mostly of, like, the ending running chase scene where he gets the new PF flyers.
Yeah.
I get the pool scene when
Wendy
Squints
Peppercorn.
kisses Wendy
Yeah.
Peppercorn. The
Consent, children. You gotta learn about it.
the chewing tobacco at the fair scene, puking on the fucking rides onto people. Like, that's... And it makes the 4th of July look pretty... It romanticizes it a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, you look at that through... you watch that movie, you're like, oh, it's not completely terrible, but when you come back to reality, you're like, oh, fuck that shit.
Yeah, it reminds me of, like, having 4th of July in a small town where our great-grandparents grew up, and, like, it's a small town, so it's not, like, super patriotic, but people are there just having fun because that's what you do.
Yeah.
They celebrate it, and it's not, like, this whole thing.
I was never a huge baseball person. It was always kind of made me want to play baseball with people and shit like that, so... But never did, really.
For sure. I just showed this movie to my kids for the first time the other day. They loved it.
Oh, also, let's be clear. The s'mores scene and just the treehouse in general.
That treehouse is dope. You always wanted that treehouse.
I always wanted any treehouse, but, like, yeah.
And all the shenanigans trying to get the ball back, like all the cool shit they had. You're like,
Did you ever know anyone with an actual treehouse? Like a good one?
No.
Nope.
I felt like I did either.
I think that's...
I started to think that it was just like a movie invention.
No.
Well, no, I've seen some in, like, backyards randomly, like, and it's just been like,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
Growing up, you're like, you see a treehouse in the backyard, and you're like, what the fuck?
I try to break out of the regular movies that I would normally put in this because I could easily go to, like, the movies I watch the most. And there's going to be a few very predictable ones on there, but my number 5 is Adventureland. I really like that movie for some reason. It just kind of has this, like...
What's that?
The movie Adventureland.
What's that?
Jesse Eisenberg, Kristen Stewart, Bill Hader. Who else is in that?
Oh...
That movie, it takes place in the 80s or late 70s or whatever it is, and it just feels like it was made then.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good at capturing that vibe. It didn't try to do it too hard. It also does kind of feel like a 2007 movie.
I'm not sure
like
I ever
like a
watched
2007 mixed with 1980. Like,
it was on HBO Max. I might watch it.
Yeah. No, I like that because we had a theme park here in town called Worlds of Fun. It's still around, but we used to have season passes when I was a little kid, and like the way the park looked in that movie, like, really reminded me of that. So there's like some nostalgia ties too that really got me trapped up in that one. I really enjoy it.
I enjoyed that movie a fair amount.
Oh, my ass hurts.
It's a little dramedy-ish, but
Yes.
it's not too serious. But I enjoy it.
It's a good coming of age story though that feels relatable. Just, you know, being that awkward kid. I think all of us fucking nerds are kind of awkward like that to some degree, where you're just dealing with bullshit around you.
And it's little Jesse Eisenberg who's like, I'm gonna be Lex Luthor.
No, this is like, that's probably my favorite role he's ever done. Is that
Adventureland?
Yeah, because he's not fucking over the top obnoxious in it. He's pretty comfortable in his own skin. And that's, for Zombieland also being a good movie for him. He's just kind of annoying in that.
I'd say those are probably the best ones if you haven't seen a lot of his indie ones. He's also in a pretty decent one, a lot more toned down, as he plays a writer, and he's with Jason Segel.
Oh, okay.
He's interviewing him, and it takes place in the 90s. Jason Segel plays a writer called David Foster Wallace, have you ever heard of him? Wrote a book in the 90s called Infinite Jest.
Nice. All right, what's your number 5?
I put Wet Hot American Summer.
Good choice.
Figured somebody would have that on the list.
Yeah, it's even got summer in the title.
I got one of those.
I took one of mine off.
Any reason why you put that one on there?
Just stands out to me as a good summer comedy.
Yeah.
When certain movies pop into my head when you suggested this, so yeah.
Ooh, did you hear Booger? I'm scratching his ear and he's groaning because it feels fucking good.
He's a happy pup, though. He's a great mascot.
He was groaning for like a full 10 seconds.
What's your number 4 before he smacks his head on the table again?
My number 4 is I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Good choice.
And it's not like particularly a great movie by any means, but it's enjoyable to watch and I have a fun time and I'm nostalgic for it. So
that started that whole. That was kind of like that. Okay, so you had the really good horror movies in the 80s, right? And then in the 90s, like, you kind of got these, like, Scream kind of launched this next gen.
Well, the thing is, this was written by the same writer from Scream.
Yeah.
Kevin Williamson.
Seemed like 90s horror movies.
But this one's based on a book, and the author of that book was, like, not really big into this because it wasn't necessarily... It was more of a mystery than a slasher.
Mm-hmm.
So they turned it into a slasher, and I didn't really like that. But
what was the book called?
It might be called...
The same title?
I think so. But I'm not 100%... I've only briefly heard about it. So
did he write a sequel book called I Still Know What You Did Last Summer?
I doubt it. I think there's a third one too, isn't there?
I still know.
I never forgot what
I
you did.
Still Know What You Did 2 summers ago.
I never forgot what you did that summer.
Yeah,
that's what I'd call the sequel to it.
I'd call it like...
Remember that summer when you did that thing? I still remember.
Remember that summer? Yeah.
And you killed that guy with the hook.
That like...
I still know about that.
Yeah, I remember that.
I wrote it down.
I like the soundtrack too. It opens up with Typo Negative covering Summer Breeze, and that's just sick.
Yeah, 90s and early 2000s horror movies kind of went into that harder rock metal.
Well, this soundtrack is all like the current hard metal bands covering 60s and 70s pop songs for their soundtrack.
Yeah.
So like Freddy vs. Jason was...
Yeah, that has like Kill Switch Engage.
Yeah,
also Typo Negative, but it's a remix, like a techno remix and shit.
Yeah.
I'm not big into a lot of that stuff, but
and these
like
are
Scream 3 had Orgy and new metal bands on the soundtrack, so I'm here for that.
And a lot of those movies, then were still rated R, but then like after this revival, everything kind of started going PG-13 because they wanted everyone to be able to see it, and make their box office
really
back.
Neutered them.
They sure did.
What's your number 4?
Point Break. The original.
Yeah, I debated that on my list. I like that one.
That was one of those movies, like I said, I never really got into until recent, in the last, couple of years. And it's like one of those, I'm like, man, that just feels like I've been watching that my entire life.
I remember watching it a lot as a kid and liking it.
The beach scenes, man, you're out there surfing, you're doing kind of shit. They're out there doing crazy stuff. It's like that pre-ESPN Extreme Game shit. Like, I feel like those people are like the type of people that inspired that shit.
Yeah.
What, the fictional characters in this movie?
No, just that California SoCal lifestyle, skating, surfing, all that stuff. What's your number 4, Nick?
I just put generically Friday the 13th movies.
The whole catalog of them?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could sit here and
I feel that. Pick
a favorite, but
camp movies in general, right?
Well, there might be one that hits a summer vibe more than the others too. So you never know, like which one specifically has a lot of the camp stuff, or
yeah, like that first one to me, like works
2
so
and
well.
3 really do, and then
definitely even the first one does though, because they're cleaning the campsite up.
6 they actually have the kids there, so 6 is almost
the
most terrifying. Because it's actually fully going.
Yeah. And 8 doesn't feel summery because it's all gloomy the whole movie. So
well, and it's like their high school graduation cruise or trip or whatever.
Technically, like spring.
So it's technically summer, maybe, but it still feels schoolsy.
Yeah,
it's very schoolsy.
What's your number 3, Alec?
My number 3 is
damn, my ass hurts.
I didn't try very hard on this top 3. They're just very obvious. So it's The Great Outdoors.
All right.
That's my number 3.
See, The Great Outdoors is a classic. We've been watching it our whole lives. I don't remember watching it for the first time. And
Can I use this as a pillow?
No.
No.
It's
You can take
vintage.
your outer shirt off and sit on it and use that as a pillow.
He wants to use a pound puppy, for those listening, as a pillow, and it's a very small one.
He looks into it. Look at that face.
180-pound man is not going to be able to just sit on a pound
You can
puppy.
buy those that size at Target, and I bought that vintage one cheaper.
I had one as a kid, and I love it.
I have an all-brown one still that I had from when I was a kid.
Nice.
Be allowing my new child to have.
So Great Outdoors is
We need
our
to put
number
that shit on
3.
display when they're done with it.
So Great Outdoors is
our number 3.
And it's a good summer, like it it makes me want to spend time at the lake, even though I'm grossed out by lakes.
Yeah.
I'd rather do river, like streaming, like where the fucking streams are clear and shit, and you're like,
Oh, you want a clear river.
Well, it doesn't have to be super clear. It just has to be not
rivers
mucky.
are just as gross as these lakes.
I get what you're saying for that. I can understand that.
Yeah, didn't you hear about the guy in Iowa who just found one of those terrible brain amoebas in his head from a lake?
Yeah, but that's because you really got to fuck up to get that.
Or just have bad luck.
Don't drink the water.
It's not even drinking the water. You can drink it. Yeah, it's got to get up to the upper parts of your nasal patch, which means someone didn't plug their nose. Like so, if you ever see someone plugging their nose and jumping in the water, not just blowing air out at all fucking casual trying to show off, especially in a lake, fucking plug your nose. You don't want that water getting forced up in there and
So what happened with his brain amoeba?
fucking killed him.
It didn't kill this person yet, but it has a 95% chance of killing them. That's how the people usually die.
I think I saw since like 1962.
And that happened.
Only 3 people have survived.
It's happened in Missouri lakes too. So
I used to go to Mark Twain Lake all the time.
Yeah, it was in Iowa, just across the Missouri border. So
Well, we're not going to that one.
So anyway, that's The Great Outdoors. I love that one. And
that's an up north lake too, so it's colder.
Yeah.
So less likely.
Number 3 for you, Justin.
Sandlot. We already talked about that. It's just a fucking great summer film.
Sandlot, okay.
Like when they're fucking dying in the heat, like that just reminds you of being like, fuck, we need to go to the pool today.
Oh, shut the fuck up, man. I've been door dashing out here without AC, and I'm feeling that every day.
Dude, swing by one of these splash parks when you're working and cool off. Get yourself all soaked.
Then you'll have the fucking...
I'm already soaked. That's the problem.
No, not with sweat. Number 2.
Number 2 is What About Bob?
Yeah.
What About Bob
that's
is
a
like,
good one.
it pairs well with Great Outdoors, to be honest, because it's a lot of like conflict between people on a lake, basically.
Yes.
That's a good one.
And that cast is also amazing. These are some of my favorite people ever in these movies, so just fucking works for me, and I love it. And I didn't watch that one growing up a lot. I bought it.
Bob?
Here's the funny thing. I bought it at a Kmart one night when my sister paid me to babysit her kid when I was like fucking 12 or 13. She bought me some shit at Kmart instead of paying me cash. And What About Bob was one of the DVDs I bought. I still have it. And
I remember watching it some as a kid.
Bought it at the Olathe Kmart.
Nice.
That was, you know where that was. Over there by Blockbuster and shit, where it was.
You know, the last thing I ever bought at that Kmart was Home Alone 2 on DVD. That's the last purchase I ever made at that Kmart.
There's a Kmart still here in like Kansas City somewhere.
What?
I shit you not. If you look on the map, there's still one open.
It can't be.
No, yeah.
We need to go there.
I know.
We need to go visit.
We need to go visit. It's not like right in the city limits where you can. In Kansas City, I'm being loose. Could be like an hour away from here. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Just near the metro.
I'm just saying it's
It can't be in the metro.
It's not definitely not in the city limits of Kansas City. I'll tell you that. It's just I'm saying it's like an hour.
Does it have
maybe 2 at most? But
does it have a Little Caesars in it?
I don't know, but I'm gonna Google it right now.
They all did, at least toward the end.
I just randomly was like, I wonder, because I know there's like a couple random ones.
Yeah, I miss having all that variety. I mean, we got
Permanently closed, permanently closed, permanently closed, permanently closed, permanently closed. There's one open if I go wider, I think.
We have Targets everywhere now, but I wish we saw a Kmart and all these different places.
We had the local store out here called Venture. That was pretty cool.
I remember
some Ninja Turtle stores.
I remember
there.
like Jack's and Shopco and K's merchandise and.
So my number 2. Did you guys already say your number 2?
Number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, my number 2 is Independence Day.
What was your number 2?
Mine was What About Bob?
Oh, that's right.
Independence Day.
Yeah.
I love that movie for the summer. It was like a great summer blockbuster about the summertime, about the 4th of July. And like, I'm not a patriotic person, so seeing American establishments get destroyed,
oh yeah,
it's kind of fucking. It's like Office Space of summer movies for me, right? You always feel better about it after you see all that destruction in America. You're like,
I always touch
feel a lot
myself when
better
the White
after
House
that.
explodes.
I was completely wrong, but maybe there's another one I haven't found. But this one's near Lincoln, but it's still
Nebraska?
open. 2 hours and 54 minutes from us.
my
It's
God.
open 9 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to go there at some point.
We're gonna have to have another
There's
reason
some
to go down
excuse
there.
to go to Omaha at some point for sure.
Maybe there's a Kmart
Krypton Comics.
Maybe there's a Kmart on the way to Texas.
Oh, we should look that up along the road. Damn. All right, what's your number 2, Nick?
My number 2 is Goonies.
That's a good one. But is that a summer movie?
I think so.
Takes place in the fall. They're all wearing fall clothes
Is
there.
it fall? Maybe it's just a
They're all
climate.
cold, especially at the end of the movie. They're
Well,
all
they
fucking
don't go
covered
to
up with
school.
blankets.
They don't go to school, so.
Okay. I didn't put that one on there for
Maybe
that
they
reason.
live in a cooler climate.
Well, it's the Pacific Northwest.
Exactly. So there you go.
So,
Well, it
what's
makes
your
me think
what's
of
your number
summer.
1, Alec?
My number 1 is a fantastic movie I have on the shelf over here, titled Weekend at Bernie's.
Good choice.
And this copy is signed by Bernie himself, Terry Kaiser. And that is my...
Wait a minute. I accidentally put 6 because I put 3 twice.
That's my shit.
Weekend at Bernie's was on there too.
You dumb bastard. That's okay. I have some honorable mentions.
All right, so we'll put Weekend at Bernie's instead of Goonies if you want to contest.
Okay, that's fine. That's a better
temporal.
I feel better about it anyway.
Yeah, October 24th, according to the newspaper in the movie.
I knew it.
Kmart website.
So, what's your number? Your number 1.
Mine's Weekend at Bernie's. What was yours?
I'm getting to that right now. It's Jaws. Jaws, as a matter of fact.
I buy it.
Mine
It's
is
a fucking great summer movie, right? You're out at the
Jaws?
beach. People coming running out of the beach in terror.
It's a horrible summer movie.
It's fucking great.
Everyone's summer's ruined.
Bullshit. More room for me to swim.
My number 1 is Vacation.
Hard to argue
Not
that
the
one.
one with Ed Helms either.
Yeah.
Although that one's not too terrible.
I didn't like it, but I've only seen it once. I mean, I could probably go revisit it and try to give it a second chance. I had higher expectations for it when it came out.
I didn't have high expectations for it. So.
Well, I heard that Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo were going to be in it, and then like they're just at the very end, and I'm like, oh.
They were at the beginning and the end, weren't they?
Just the end.
No, they go to their house toward the beginning, I thought.
No, it's at the end.
It's
but
at the end.
Really?
But
I could have sworn they were towards the beginning.
I mean, it's okay. It's better than... I'd probably rather rewatch that than European Vacation.
European Vacation.
I'd rather watch it than Christmas Vacation too.
Yeah, that for sure.
Hey, I don't even include that in the rankings.
It has
because
parts that I like,
TV.
but it has parts that cringy movies do that, like...
Ed Helms one?
Yeah, where like the youngest kid's bullying the older brother, which is kind of cringy.
Yeah, there's some terrible writing in that.
But then there's the stuff where it's like, you know, you're not too old to give your dad a goodnight rim job, are you?
Yeah.
Well, that's classic. Like that's the style of comedy that should be in that movie because it's kind of like, oh shit.
Nice. Yeah, your dad's an idiot. So,
well, that's our top 5 summer movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, honorable mentions. I had Stand By Me. I had Great Outdoors. All the stuff you guys mentioned just for the obvious reasons, but I was trying to think of stuff I didn't always talk about.
I also had Heavyweights,
Yeah,
Jaws,
that's fucking
Caddyshack.
Yeah.
Oh, Caddyshack.
I think that might also... That's a summer movie, technically. I'm not sure when it takes place, but it's got to be summer.
Caddyshack?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because they're
the
caddying
caddies
over
are in
summer.
high school, yeah.
They're caddying over their summer break.
Close enough, anyway.
Well...
Oh, my ass hurts. So, are you going to do Sick Sad World?
Probably not. I think I'm just kind of over it.
Oh, okay.
Unless you really want to talk about this guy.
If you're not into it.
I think you know.
If you're not into it.
Nick, you can briefly mention it real quick, but I don't think we need a whole segment on
You
it.
want to briefly mention it?
We can talk about it real quick, but...
Because I wasn't even involved. You guys were.
Well, now I just want to hear the intro.
Well, I may as well throw it on there. Let's just do it.
I mean, are all your friends Satanists?
Yes.
A young Frenchman photographed this flying saucer, or is it? From a
Do you believe in UFOs, astral projections, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, spirit photography?
We're discussing Satanism and the occult this morning and some of the dangers.
Telekinetic movement, full trance mediums, the Loch Ness Monster, and the theory of Atlantis.
For the purposes of this study, we will focus on the number 666.
Tonight on Six Ed World.
I thought you were going to make a sticking that up your butt joke, and I was going to grab for this and be like, no, this is much bigger.
No, the girthiness. Yeah, this isn't much girthier.
Well, that one has your ridges.
Yeah.
When are we going to dress up as the porn star parody versions of
well, that's just
Wayne
going to
and
literally
Garth?
destroy your asshole.
No, it's not. That's ribbed for your pleasure.
No. Believe me, I know. That would destroy your asshole.
No,
What, the
now
ridges?
this hard lip right here might hurt your butthole, but this part here, that's fine. All the way up down here. And
Why
it's
do you have
even
to do
got
that in the small studio?
But if you're going to put either of these up your butt, what you need to do is you need to do this one because it's got a flared base and it won't get sucked up your butthole. This thing could get sucked in all the way.
Well, I mean, if you're really desperate to get it in there.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you need a flared base for your own protection. Amateurs. People are like, what the fuck are you talking about now? Yeah, we're fucking
I don't know,
weird.
but really I'm just thinking, it's an interesting shape you got there.
Yeah, besides the cap, that part there would probably cause some
That's going to
hemorrhaging.
be cut.
Well, what you take this part off entirely.
Okay.
Oh,
and then you kind of make a little bit of a...
Oh, yeah, because that way then you can squirt the stuff in and then squirt it out when you're done. Yeah, I get that. People do that a lot in their own homemade videos and their professional-made videos and their OnlyFans videos and everything in between.
Fruit looping is a very serious thing.
It's a crime against humanity.
To not do it once at least and try it out.
Yeah, are you even living?
Looping.
If you go to church, you may as well try fruit looping.
If you're going to church, are you living?
What is this Six Sad World about?
Okay, well, we were conversing on the Facebook with a prospective Kansas City mayoral candidate who is a preacher,
aka molester, but hey.
And his name is Leroy Jr. Glover. I guess it's.
But that's hearsay, though. We don't know. It's just speculation at this point.
That what his name is?
No, that he's into children.
Oh, okay.
That's pure speculation. We can neither
that's-
confirm nor deny that.
That's just a hobby that some people in this business are into.
It is a very popular hobby for people in his profession.
Did you get his original post?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got plenty of screenshots.
All right, well, start.
Yeah, get to it.
Well, the point of his original post was he's talking about how our current mayor, Lucas, is his name Lucas?
That's his last name, I believe.
Mayor Quentin Lucas, yes.
Quentin. Is offering a $300 stipend.
I'm George Lucas. We're offering a $300 stipend help people.
All Lucasfilm employees.
Abortion.
That I knock up.
In Kansas City.
But he's complaining that the mayor is offering a $300 stipend for all city employees to go out of state to get an abortion. And he's pissed about that and how he's Mayor Lucas is pro-choice, but he's pro-God and I side with pro-life. Even though he later says, where did I say I was pro-life?
Mm-hmm. I posted in there a separation of church and state link to Wikipedia.
To help him understand that.
And he said, don't give me that crap. Just because you prefer a country that hates good. I imagine he meant God.
Yeah. Well, we hate God and goodness.
Only make me that much
We want
more
evil.
determined. I said, that's how you respond to logic, ration, and facts. Don't give me that crap. Said, there is no chance you will be mayor. You'd have better luck playing pickup chicks with your butt cheeks.
At one point, he told you that Sky Daddy created politics.
Yeah.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
Sky Daddy.
Well, I think Alec referred to God as Sky Daddy.
Oh.
And then he put it in quotes.
Well, that's
but
just
at one point,
that term is not even one I like, but it offends them enough that it's funny.
But he very quickly threatened hell and all this other shit on me.
Well, yeah, you got to condemn people, right? Otherwise, you're not doing it right.
He also shared this: "Swallow your pride." It's an anti-COVID vax thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's anti-vax, and apparently he's also a Lyft driver who tries to convert people to Christianity, like his customers, because he posted about that.
Since I didn't get banned from him, I should try to go get a Lyft ride near where he's at, and then fucking give him a 0 rating for him selling his blasphemy to me.
Mm-hmm.
That is just.
At one point, he was like, "I agree, women's should do what they want with their own bodies."
He said the government shouldn't tell women what to do with
Should
their bodies.
prostitution be legal? And I just responded,
well,
yes.
Yeah, why not? I said Jesus' wife was a prostitute. He didn't comment on that, though.
And then he said the real meaning of separation of church and state is that the church can't participate in state affairs. It's not that, he said.
The church can participate in state affairs.
The
but
government can't rule the affairs of the church. And it's like,
yeah,
it's kind of both. I mean, you don't really understand what I'm saying. They're separate. That's the point.
Yes. So,
and then I had to point out that I said, the post literally says you're pro-life. If you don't want to outlaw abortion, then by definition, you're pro-choice. It's astounding how ludicrous the shit you say, as I said. And then I said in quotes, mayoral candidates say the darndest things.
You know what's astounding to me? Is someone that took over... Someone that adopted their captives' religion. Like, all the...
Oh, I pointed that out. I said, he had another Bible quote thing, and I said, the Bible's also used to justify slaves, and he responded this. Wow, yet another American who thinks the Bible is an American book. And I was like, what?
Huh?
I don't know. Aren't you reading the Bible and you're American? Like, what are you even talking about, though?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with that. It's just
I was like,
the Bible endorses slavery.
I just said that wasn't a claim that I made.
So why are you a fan of the Bible?
Here's what got me blocked, though.
Bible.
He said, I'm neither pro-life nor pro-choice. Then you're pro-choice.
But he literally says right there, I'm pro-life.
I'm pro-God, which still suggests abstinence over fornication. I said, that's a lot of words for I don't eat pussy.
So then married people can get abortions?
I don't know. It's just, this is just something that's been bothering me lately, is how all these people claim to be Christians, yet lost their own religion to where they came from.
Well, when someone running for office is outright saying, I'm going to make laws based on my religious beliefs, that person should be barred from holding office.
Yeah.
Yes.
In a secular government.
Yes. But anyone that fails to see the irony of them adopting their slave, their master's religion, and then fucking running with that hundreds of years later, like, your ancestors would fucking hate you for being such a fucking stupid idiot. They'd be like, why don't you think for yourselves?
The religion that empowered these people.
All the religion that they
I'm pretty sure Chris Rock did a stand-up bit about this in the mid-'90s, so people should watch that.
It's just fucking annoying, though. It's like, get with it, people.
I mean, he's talked shit on the Bible plenty in his stand-up stuff, so I'm pretty sure he did this, though, because, it's relevant to him.
If you want to have a conversation about science, we can.
We'll link to Chris Rock in the show notes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but okay. So that's that. We didn't get quite as crazy as we could.
We did it real quick here.
All right. We got a big segment here, though.
A big segment?
Well, I don't know how big it'll be, because it's like, what are we going to say? We saw this movie.
Saw this movie.
We saw this movie. Saw this movie.
Glad you never wrote words to this.
Front Row Video Reviews with the Frog Brothers Podcast.
I'm probably going to re-record lyrics over that because it'll make me laugh.
All right, so tonight's movie is Thor: Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder.
Dropped last week. We went and saw it. I saw it Sunday evening, about 6:30 p.m.
We all saw it yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
it was a movie.
It was definitely a MCU film.
The most...
I don't know if I'd even say that.
Well, here. What I will say is it was most definitely a Thor movie.
Well, no, it was only a Guardians movie for a little bit.
Well, I don't mean that. I mean in tone.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, like, you can't do that tone because the jokes didn't land the way they would had they been. Like, I think James Gunn just writes a little bit darker shit.
Well, I don't know. They try to go pretty dark with here. Like that, like Christian Bale rolling a fucking head around a group of children of a dead animal and shit. That's pretty fucked up. I was sitting there like, is this really in this movie now?
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up. And then at the end of the movie, there's children fighting a war. I'm like, what the fuck is happening in the tone here? I'm sorry, we'll have to get there, but like,
So
I didn't understand if I was watching Big Trouble in Little China or like Nightmare on Elm Street.
I thought I was watching Harry Potter. Fucking Christian Bale looked like fucking
true.
Voldemort. That's all I could think of when I saw him.
Thor, the boy who lived.
And Christian Bale's great, like, in the role, but then again, you're just like, okay.
Yeah, you should have just casted Ray Fiennes.
Ralph Fiennes.
It's Ray Fiennes, and if you call me anything else, I'll cut your dick off and make you eat it.
Ralph.
And I'll live stream it.
Rafe. What do they call him when they're not saying his whole name? Rafe?
Ray? Ray's his name.
It's Ralph.
No.
It's spelled out Ralph.
It's spelled out Ralph, but his name is Ray.
No, it isn't.
Look it up.
So this movie...
I mean, I swear to God, I'm not making that up. It's Ray Fiennes.
It's Rafe.
This movie is a fucking kick in the nuts, though, to your expectations, because you walk in and it goes dark, and then you get Gore there with his daughter dying.
And I was like, okay.
No Marvel credits even. I'm like, okay, so you're doing the prequel. This should have been the post-credit scene of another movie.
Well, here's the thing. Before we go any further, I want to acknowledge the fact that the Marvel Universe has been going on so long at this point that anything that you do is going to feel a little bit, at least, like, okay, yes, we've seen this, we've heard this, all of this. You've done this before.
They did a remix to the Marvel music during the... They play the shit.
Yeah.
Well, they try to go. Yeah, they try to go with that guitar theme.
Here's the thing: I fucking hate Guns N' Roses too, so that doesn't help this movie. If anything, it should have been like the fucking Queen Flash song, you know, shit like that.
There's bands that did it better.
Just a little less cringy. They should have gone a little more metal and a little less hair metal.
Yes, for sure. Like, I'm not a huge Metallica fan by any means, but
Metallica would have fit Thor better. Or Viking black metal, anything that was fucking something.
Something, right? Yeah.
Not do 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 do. God,
and then
I
they
hate
try
that
to mix
shit.
it, and then they throw the guitar in there, and you're like, "What the fuck are you doing to that?" Like, it was just, it felt like they're trying so hard to step away from what you know that it was just like annoying.
It's such a big thing right now to do remixes of old popular songs into orchestral score versions, and it's like, I'm a little over it.
Epic version.
Yeah.
They did it with fucking Separate Ways, Journey for Stranger Things and shit.
Yep.
And it's like, sometimes it works, sometimes I hate it a little less, but like, I'm just kind of over it. It's one of those trends.
Yeah.
It's big in trailers more than anything, but still.
Yeah. I don't know, this movie's tone just jumps all over the place. It doesn't know what it wants to do. And it's not that I hated the movie by any means. There's parts of this I truly enjoyed, but then there's parts of it I was just like, this is the most absurd Marvel movie yet.
So let's try to do the plot in order here, I guess, as much as we can remember. Starts out with Gore, and then it does the Marvel logo. And then Thor and the Guardians, right? We're kind of there.
And the Guardians...
Well, yeah, they're on some planet, and these aliens are fucking up, taking over this other alien's castle or whatever. And
I get that this is a Thor movie, but they clearly made it seem like the Guardians are literally no one and nothing compared to Thor, is what they made it seem like. And it's like, I mean...
Well, yeah, they're not superheroes,
they're not,
and then
I mean,
he's
I
a
get,
superhero or a god.
I get that, but they also have quite an interesting, unique bunch of them. Like, Drax is clearly super strength of some sort.
Yeah.
It's not just like he's as strong as an Earth human and shit.
And
but
like, okay, and Quill lost his god power.
Groot is obviously super strength.
Yeah. Quill lost his god power when he killed his dad, supposedly, right? So there's that whole thing that they've never outright said, but just assumed.
And Gamora just wasn't there.
No. I don't know. It felt like...
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to do with that.
It felt forced. I didn't feel like I needed them in there at all.
Well, that's the thing.
Or
is
they
like
should have done more with
when
it.
they ended Endgame, it's almost like it was the end of Back to the Future. And this is where they just had to dump Jennifer's body off somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're
Like,
right.
we
Yeah.
would
They
have
didn't
never
want her in
ended
the
the
movie.
movie this way had we know we were doing a Thor 4 almost, you know? Because we all wanted an adventure with the Guardians and Thor.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
they
I
should have
thought there
just...
was gonna be more of
they
that.
should have just made an As Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Because fuck it. Why the fuck not?
Yeah, I mean, that's the comic series, right? They've done that in the books. They have some source material to work from.
It'd have been funny. But maybe they will still. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't hate it or anything. And when I'm critiquing it, it's just because that's how I felt while watching it. You know, I'm still gonna add it to the collection and rewatch it. Just won't rewatch it a whole bunch. I'll still probably watch Ragnarok the most out of any Thor movie, and the first one just because of the.
Didn't you think that
origin
the
story.
movie presents all the gods as bad people anyway? So I felt like I was
Kind
kinda
of,
like
but I was
rooting-
also expecting some Moon Knight crossover.
I still
with
haven't seen that.
Because
I mean-
there's a god in that.
Okay, yeah.
Like that's what gives him the power.
Well, there's
so I
a
was
god in the
expecting-
beginning that's a prick to him, and then Zeus is a prick later.
But I
and
think
then-
there might have been a reference to the. What's the god from Moon Knight's name? I can't even remember the name now.
I would have to look closely in the background because they've got.
Well, I think they referenced it by name. Yeah, like they just heard. I think so, but I'm not 100% on that. But either the gods stuff was like.
I wouldn't have cared if he killed all the gods except Thor.
Well, see, before they get to the gods, what's happening? Like Thor leaves the Guardians because. Oh yeah, they discover the signal of the god.
Yeah, they got a distress call from that person.
Because the Necro Sword. I'm like, all right, I guess. Some of the stuff when it is just very like, it feels repeated fashion of different things. Like it's another ancient artifact. But that's just the way the comics are too. You have to kind of
they do that. And if you're following one story, you got to realize now we're oversaturated to some degree with this because when you're reading the books, you couldn't afford to read them all, right? People would buy a character book that they like because you couldn't just buy everything.
I started that Ms. Marvel series, and it was pretty decent. The first episode was pretty good. I recommend it if you have some time to actually sit down and watch it.
I'll watch it eventually. Yeah.
I've watched the first couple of them.
Wasn't too bad so far. I need to take some more to.
My biggest thing was after Endgame, we thought we were going to kind of get a palate cleanser to kind of refresh and level set, and it just feels like we're in a mixed bag with stuff right now.
Yeah, everything's a little weird, but it's because there's so much content because of the TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
If you just look at the 6 movies that have come out, post then Endgame, and I guess the last Spider-Man movie, that was the second Spider-Man movie, is technically post that too. So that's 7 movies we've had since then. 6 movies in the next phase, plus all the fucking TV shows, though. That's the thing that makes it seem like, oh shit, there's so much extra stuff, and we feel like we've barely really scratched the surface. But this phase is halfway over for movies. Yeah.
The one thing that I saw a lot of people complaining about, after I watched the movie, I read some people's reviews and stuff, and they're like, I don't know where they're going. And to me,
that's the problem with these movies too. Is now that's what we almost go to these movies to be like, all right, what's this post-credit scene going to be? What do you got? That's almost more important than the movie itself because you're hoping for something bigger than a Thor movie. Because let's face it, none of us are huge I gotta see the next Thor movie, but you're like, I'm gonna see it because it's the Marvel universe.
I was super excited about this when they announced it because the Guardians are gonna be in it, and then I thought that'd be a good crossover to have that.
Once I saw the trailer though, I could tell. That's literally the opening scene, and that's it.
That's the first 20 minutes. That's not even the first act. That's the beginning of the first act.
Yeah.
I guess what bothered me though is people overlooking all the stuff that looks like Galactus, and all the figure shapes in there, right? That's kind of what I'm getting hinted at too, right? And I think that's how they're going to wind up bringing the Fantastic Four and some of these other things in there. And I'm like, it's not a huge deal because they don't need to spell it out for you every time. We've gotten so used to being catered to that.
Here's the thing. A lot of people think the next big bad is going to be coming sooner than it is. They don't realize that it took 10 years to get to Thanos really actually being the villain. They're going to take another 10 years to get to Galactus if they do Galactus.
Yeah.
Probably, but it'll be there's already 2 Fantastic Four movies out, there'll be lots of things that have happened, and we're probably, obviously we have Kang to deal with, and he's going to be in the new Ant-Man movie.
Yes.
You have to have sort of middle grade,
mid-grade
ones
villains,
for,
yes.
I don't even know if they're going to do another Avengers movie, but they've talked about, there's rumors going around that they're going to do a Secret Wars movie, and that would be kind of take place of the Avengers title, the A in Wars. People are photoshopping as an Avengers logo.
Are they going to do see them doing something like that? Young Avengers or something?
Well, they've talked
That's what they're clearly going to. They clearly have that planned because of all of these different characters. And if you've watched Hawkeye, that's what that's about too. So
yes, Young Avengers and West Coast Avengers are more likely.
You have a mini Thor now too, at the end of this movie.
Yeah,
you have a young Thor. You have a young Iron Man coming, Ironheart. You have Miss Marvel. You have the new Black Widow. You have
it's all
America Chavez.
Yep.
Holy shit, that's 5 right there. There's at least 1 or 2 more I'm not even thinking of. So
yeah, we've got Ironheart coming from what I've been hearing, right? So
that's one I listed, but yeah, there's lots of them. So
yeah, it's interesting. It's just it's so big right now. There's just so much, and I feel like this movie didn't do as much as I thought it would. For Christian Bale being the villain, he never felt that threatening to me.
I mean, there's parts where he felt spookier, and it was pretty goth feeling, but it was
when he terrified the kids, that was the scariest scene in the movie.
We haven't even talked about Jane Foster.
Yeah.
And Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect this cancer storyline, and
I didn't
definitely
either.
not for her to die.
Well, I never read the comic to explain.
I guess it makes sense because I don't think she was gonna come back for another.
Yeah, I
one
didn't
or
think
anything.
she was
It's
going to be
easier
like
just to write
a
it out.
mainstay in the series or anything. But
no, and I thought it was a good closure to her story arc. Right, I think having them keep her alive and stuff would have been made a mistake, but I think it kind of gives you that closure for Thor where his headspace was post Endgame and stuff. So I don't know.
I mean, I liked seeing the other characters from the Thor movies that originated him. You kept Kat Dennings in there, and then what's Skarsgård? I can't remember which Skarsgård his name is, but
yeah,
he was in Avengers as well.
Yeah,
short spot in there, but
what's his name's in the post credits? Shimon Hansel, or no, he didn't play that character. It's
Hercules.
No. That's the mid credit scene. The one where Jane Foster goes to Valhalla.
Oh
fuck! Why can't Idris Elba's character?
Oh yeah.
I said. Yeah.
The post credit scenes in this were
See, that was
interesting.
just weird to me. It's like, so it just kind of looks like you're back on your home planet when you die. I mean, like, fuck it.
Well, we knew she was going to Valhalla. That was the point. They didn't really need to show us that.
But also the mid credit scene, I'm like, what? Now we're gonna
it's Zeus's son, who is what's his name?
Hercules.
And he's
God, is that Hercules?
Yeah,
it was.
Both of them are in the comics as well and stuff.
They should have had.
And the Hercules he's one of the characters he's one of the actors from Ted Lasso.
The Hercules outfit looked bonkers, but I don't know.
So is he going to be villain in Thor 5?
It's hard to say. I mean,
they just said Thor will return. It doesn't know. He might return in something else.
But I mean,
to
have Hercules chasing after him.
I'm not opposed to a Thor 5. I just don't, I'm not crazy about it. I'll see it, but I'm not like
him having
ooh, I hope there's another one.
A little girl sidekick.
I do like the character of Thor and want him to be in other Marvel stuff.
I think
he works better not in a main
as an ensemble cast. I think that's
I think
why
he
Thor
works
Ragnarok
better.
works so well.
That's where Hulk works best too. So
yeah, and that's why.
Although She-Hulk,
but that looks super intriguing as well. So. I don't know. I'm just curious where this is all going to go. But when I was watching the movie, I just had some issues with the tone. It seems like there was some forced jokes that didn't really fit in. Like there's a serious moment, and then they try to be a little bit lighthearted after that.
Well, like I told him, I feel like there was some points where they allowed the drama to happen without undercutting it with a joke.
Yeah, there was a few of those.
I think Ragnarok never allowed it to. Breathe. But so I didn't really think it was sillier than Ragnarok. A lot of people said it was. I think it's sillier, but I don't know.
It's just on par with it, I think,
That's
to
what
me.
I think, too.
They're about even, just like the first two Thor movies
So
are more tonally
When I heard
similar.
that, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to watch this movie. So I think it wasn't quite like that.
This is like watching, the Thor movies are just like the Batman movies tonally. Like the first two are
pretty serious.
A little more serious and dark, and the two are like, whoa, bright colors, cool shit, Batman credit cards.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they took like one of the tourist rides and shit there, and when you first see New Asgard, like with the cruise ships parked outside of there, I thought that was hilarious.
I mean, yeah, the screaming fucking goats.
That was overused a little bit. But.
A little bit, yeah. But I mean, it's in their character traits, so once you
I thought
commit
the best
to it,
one was when they ran into the moon.
So I also
think you had some distance in it.
I'd also be curious to see what they cut from this, because
I've seen a clip going around where they filmed Jane transforming into Thor, like for the first time in that spot.
Oh.
They did quite a bit. So I heard that the original cut was like 4 hours long, and they went to some new planets.
That's why I was surprised this was only 2 hours.
Well, there's some new planets and new gods that got killed by Gore, I think, along the way, and they just cut all that out. I mean, this is only a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, he kills one god in this, doesn't he?
Yeah, I was gonna say they probably should have shown him killing more gods.
God Butcher.
I mean, they could have done a montage of that, honestly. I think that's one thing Marvel hasn't really done that would have fit well into this movie, is a montage of him doing that. And then, because even Zeus is like, oh, they're just killing lower-level gods, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't raise the stakes good enough, I guess.
How'd you feel about the redemption arc for Gore?
I liked that, actually. That was surprising.
It's okay.
They didn't just kill him.
It's weird. It's like, because they're setting so many things up, you are like, all right, well, here's another kid. Yay.
Yeah.
Now we have Thor, kid Thor.
Kid Thor.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And where does she get her power from, though? Is that how he just wishes her back into existence?
They said that thing gave her powers. when she was wished back through that thing.
All right. And that's what I was trying to figure out,
They said that
too.
right at the end.
Yeah.
They gave her some kind of power.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was an okay way to end it, like...
I liked how the hammer was broken and it could reassemble itself and break up.
That was pretty cool. Shrapnel, basically.
The scenes with her as that were cool. The cancer storyline was just a little depressing and, didn't want it.
Yeah, I saw some trigger warning someone posted before I went in there into the theater, and I was like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, I mean,
this and my mom, and I'm
I get that if you go through that because she looks like shit in a few of those scenes. They did a really good job with the makeup because that's all that was.
Then they gave her too much makeup when she was Thor.
I thought she was fine.
Looked like.
I mean, I didn't hate it. I thought it was okay. I thought she did a good job coming back into that role because I don't think she ever really thought about going back into that role.
No, she definitely wasn't planning
she didn't
on
want
it.
to.
Yeah.
She was only in the first and second Thor, right?
Well, and then they.
Yeah.
She did.
They showed her photo in Avengers, but that's it, I think.
She was in. She was in Endgame, but I think they reused footage, and then I think she recorded a little bit of dialogue for it.
Yeah,
and they
it
went
was
back in time.
Pretty brief, yeah.
But yeah, I don't think she's outside of the Thor movies much.
I would say, just in my initial viewing, this felt sillier than Ragnarok.
I don't think it
in
did.
certain ways.
As soon as you disagree with him, he's like, yeah.
No, when you're looking at it, you get this whole theme park set up for New Asgard. That was all really cheesy, and then the children were taken, which just felt straight out of Batman Returns.
The children war was the cheesy part to me. All right,
Yes.
children, come along now and fight war with me. Here's Thor powers. I can just hand out Thor powers to anyone.
Temporarily.
If you could do that.
If they're worthy.
Give that to Iron Man or something when he was
Captain America.
When
the hammer.
When Thanos kept bashing open his fucking
Lots
suit.
of reasons.
Well, and then the fact that he had these personal relationships with the hammer and the
I saw some criticism of that. They're sentient now or something.
Once in a while, it was kind of funny, but it was a little over the top. It was too much of that relationship.
Where he was
with it. I did like that actually.
Groping the balls of
scratching it,
the invisible
scratching
balls
its chin is what I thought he was doing. But yeah, I do that to Booger's chin, so I get it. And my balls.
I
So.
kind of liked it when it floated in the screen.
Yeah, the first time it did that, it was funny. The second time, I was like, okay, we already did this, so.
Yeah.
The gag of that kind of wore off. I mean, I would have preferred just the second time because I thought that would have been
Is
funnier.
anyone writing this that is actually an accredited comedy writer?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Or do they just think they're funny? Or
So let me ask you this question. How do you feel about Taika Waititi doing Star Wars after seeing his second Marvel movie? Are you scared or are you hopeful?
Well, did he want to turn these into comedies, or did?
Yeah, I
or
think
was
he was
mandated
chosen because they wanted to change the tone of that, and I think that's kind of he likes that goofy. I mean, he's an actor in this as well.
I don't want to see a Star Wars movie this goofy.
Yeah, me neither.
But
I don't. Are they going to allow it? Because isn't that the whole reason why they?
If they do some weird, wacky shit.
But isn't that why they fired those directors from Solo? Because they were making it too silly?
But that's Han Solo. He might not have access to any of the characters, and it might be something weird.
He's doing something his own.
Exactly. So it could be fucking. They could be like, all right, I don't give a fuck as long as it's that. If worst case scenario, we'll just distance ourselves from it.
Jar Jar comedy kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm just curious because
be the main character
with his tonal set, right? Obviously,
I'd see that.
Didn't he post
if he
on
did
Twitter,
like a Guardians?
Didn't he post on Twitter as a joke who wants to see a Jar Jar movie? I think that was him.
Thor style.
I don't want.
Jar Jar
I don't
Binks
want to
movie.
see a Star Wars comedy.
No, I mean, if I want to see a Star Wars comedy, I'll watch Spaceballs.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Well, then that's the other problem. You're going to be like, this is Spaceballs, but for real.
I mean, I think he's got the directorial chops for that. I just don't know where tonally that would go. To your point.
Why would they even want to do? Why would they even want to do that?
I don't know. I think the other reason that this feels sillier is because the background cast isn't as good.
Just let Taika Waititi direct a Spaceballs sequel.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
And it can parody the new Star Wars movies.
Yes.
And just like
Mel Brooks can come out and help. He's still hanging around. Yeah, I just feel like Ragnarok was less silly, even though it was absurd. But this felt so absurd with some of the goats and then the children at the end. It was like, what the fuck are you doing? I just was annoyed in the seat and
I was expecting really, really bad, stupid, silly. So
I just didn't know what to expect, and I was
it's about what I expected.
It was above my expectations, but mine were pretty low.
But here's the one thing though that I say: Thor Ragnarok is less silly because Jeff Goldblum is a fucking masterpiece in that movie. And I was really sad that he wasn't in this movie anywhere.
How many times did they say orgy in this movie? You know, there was a baby sitting behind me in this movie, too, I should say. That occasionally I would just hear,
yeah.
They had a baby in a fucking thing. And I saw this movie starting at 10, by the way.
Because Zeus started... Yeah, what the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know, man.
They're going to have a baby in there
Don't
till
take a fucking
12:30.
baby to a movie. You can get someone to watch that motherfucking thing.
Go during the fucking day if you have to.
Get an abortion.
They have...
At least it's 7 o'clock at night. I mean, the baby, I get it.
Fuck,
I'm not
they have
saying...
like 3 o'clock movies.
I'm not saying your baby has to go to sleep, and chances are it probably slept through most of the movie anyway. It wasn't like a pain in the ass. I'm not saying that, but I'm just like, whatever. It's lame.
That's a late show on a Sunday.
I'm
to be
not
taking a
being
baby.
too serious about this, but, you
Shut
know,
up.
come on.
Well, totally, that's it. You know, they're talking about orgies in there, and I saw some stupid Christian thing, like, flipping out about this movie. Like, this movie is made by Marvel, and it's supposed to be about superheroes. And they're talking about all this stuff, and, like, a man wearing a dress, like Zeus wearing his little tutu. I'm like...
That was funny when he came running down with it. That was the best part of Zeus. I thought they were going to make some more, like, fat old Zeus jokes or something, because, like, you know, that's not what I picture when I think of Zeus.
Yeah. Yeah, I really wasn't terribly impressed with the gods. I did like how they presented them all as a bunch of pieces of shit, because that's pretty much how I feel about them.
But
that was my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah.
Was
But-
like,
but
they're all
you're
fucking
supposed
worthless.
to be against the villain, though, and that just made you kind of root for the villain. Like, I don't give a fuck if he...
I know.
kills
I
this
went
fucking-
into this movie thinking, like, I kind of have more sympathy for this guy than anybody else.
Yeah.
And then Thor wasn't a complete piece of shit, but Thor has been a piece of shit. He's been around a long time, so how many people has he disappointed?
Yeah.
So, interesting.
That's fine.
Yep.
Thor's
I
not
don't
going to be
know.
around forever anyway, so Chris Hemsworth's not going to do these forever, so kill him. Fuck it, I don't care.
They could do something with it.
Make Christian Bale a recurring character. I don't care.
Well, I mean, obviously we've still had Loki had his own series, right? And then you're just trying to figure out where does all this go, and it's like no
New
point
Black
even.
Panther movie this fucking fall.
With
Is that
Namor.
still happening?
Yeah. Comes
Like-
out Namor's the villain.
Namor?
We have no...
Yeah, the Marvel's
Yeah, how is that
version.
coming out this year and we know nothing?
They haven't released a trailer yet. I think
That
we're
must
going
be
to see
bad.
a trailer for San Diego Comic-Con at the Marvel panel.
Yeah.
That's when that's going to drop, I
At
think.
least the teaser trailer of some sort.
Yeah, 30-second teaser maybe, and a full 2-minute trailer probably in August.
Are they going to have CGI... What's his name?
Who?
The guy that died.
No. Chadwick Boseman?
They're going to have a CGI and then he's going to help.
I think they're going to
He's going to help his daughter lift the whatever weapon.
I think he's
Proton.
He's going to appear.
Stream.
Yeah, no, I think he's going to die off screen, and that's going to be that.
They're going to get...
She's going to put on his old Black Panther uniform and find a Crunch Bar in the pocket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure those. You start getting...
Well, they got to bring the villain from the first one back, too.
True. Killmonger's back.
Killmonger, we got to fight Killmonger again.
Only this
Recast, but played by 3 different people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Get
he's
Olivia
got the
Wilde
extra
to play.
scar on him from killing Black Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to kill some, like, off screen. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, originally at first I was like, okay, that makes sense. But at the same time, I'm like, you may as well just recast him. They've recast other people. It's not the first time that someone's been recast
Yeah,
in
if
the
he had
MCU.
done a few Black Panther movies, then maybe. But
Well, the
he
thing
did
is,
one.
he did 4 movies in total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 Avengers movies, a Captain America movie, and the Black Panther movie. And I get it. He's iconic. So
But at the same
I'm really
time-
not that upset with it. But, you know.
But when you try to take it from a cultural standpoint, like, how are you going to take away the main character from the Black Panther movies? But there's plenty of ways they can
But
do
isn't
something
the
else.
sister?
It just
something
sucks
gonna
that,
be
yeah,
Black
he didn't get
Panther?
to at least do one more, but...
Isn't the sister or something going to be Black Panther?
No, that's...
Is that how... or-
If you go by casting and stuff, that's the name you're seeing the most. And if you go on Disney Plus,
But I mean, there is
you're
going to be
seeing
a...
Shuri
There is going to be a new
on
Black
like
Panther.
montage
though, is
pictures
what-
and
Yes,
stuff.
Black Panther will be back.
Okay.
And then Namor is going to be the villain here, and they're
Who's
going to
that?
work they're the Secret Sea Society. You're like, please don't make this anything like Aquaman, or I'll fucking throw up in the chair. But I think Ryan Coogler's smarter than that.
Do they have a sea hero?
It'll probably be very similar to the Black Panther's Secret Society, but
Yes.
underwater.
Yeah. Pretty much. That's kind of what we're going to see.
Atlantis, where Aquaman is?
Yeah. Wonder how you're going to explain half of them coming back.
I don't know a whole lot about Namor other than that he is basically Marvel's Aquaman, if you will. But
yeah.
But he's a bad guy.
Well, he's also a good guy, too.
He fights the Black Panther, but he's also a hero in some regards. So
I'm sure it'll end without his death.
There's going to be a misconception between the two, a misunderstanding between these two societies, and they're going to come together by the end of it to help the world survive.
Yeah, so there will probably be another villain, too.
Probably.
So he's white?
Or a manipulator of some
because
sort.
you had Claw in the Black Panther movie, and he's a major Black Panther villain, and he gets killed off.
Well, they kill all villain in the first movie.
And he appeared first in Avengers Ultron.
Really?
Claw.
Yeah. Dr. Claw.
And wasn't he not in...
I'll get you, Gadget.
The Winter Soldier?
Oh.
I don't know.
He was on the ship?
Yeah, maybe.
That's in Avengers Ultron.
Oh, that is? Okay. Maybe I'm confusing.
And he's on the ship and they get
There's
there.
so many-
Because
so many
Ultron's
fucking
stealing
movies.
his... the vibranium. That's the first time we heard about Wakanda is in that movie.
Vibranium.
Yeah. Yep, so, I don't know. Movie wasn't great, wasn't terrible.
Just end it. Just end the MCU. Just end it.
Nah.
Just end it.
I'm okay with it going. I just want...
Take a break. Take a break.
Well, it's like, should we have gotten a fourth Thor movie?
No.
Right now? That's what I question. Like, I don't disagree that Hemsworth is great as Thor.
Well, they probably don't want to wait too long on him.
You could have done the Asgardians of the Galaxy. They could have done some mashups. There's other things.
Here's
they
the thing to
could have
talk
done.
about. Captain America 4 just got its director.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, this is not my Captain America. This isn't Captain America.
He's black.
And
That's what they said.
Here's the fucked up thing is nobody's saying that, but it feels like that's what they're thinking.
Well, they can't say
And a lot of people are saying things like, well, he doesn't have superpowers. That's not Cap. He'll never be Cap. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, why are you so... that guy, the actor moved on, so just get used to it. This is the Captain America of the movies now. Nobody's trying to take away Steve Rogers from you.
Didn't they steal some of those...
Fucking losers.
Didn't they steal some of those potions or something?
But he didn't take that.
But he could
What's
still,
his face
right?
did?
He still could.
The
though.
U.S. agent.
Yeah,
who
US
is,
agent.
They're still working on that, too, by the way. They're sort of anti-hero Avengers.
Yes. Isn't that West Coast Avengers, the anti-hero Avengers, more or less?
Are they called the Revengers?
Kinda.
You have White Vision out there, too. He's part of the West Coast Avengers.
Yeah.
West Coast.
I have an issue of it.
Is it just in California?
I could show you it.
Yeah.
Human Torch was in him at 1.2.
There's a lot of options out
Yeah.
there. There's so many comics for inspiration
They got
out there.
the Young Avengers, probably the West Coast style.
It just gets so big, though. It's like, how do you interweave it all together and make people
Is
still
the new
care?
Captain America just gonna?
I don't know. I'm pretty much buckled in because.
Well, I mean, I grew up reading comics. And
Well,
I love that
especially
stuff.
knowing that X-Men and Fantastic Four are coming, and those are the ones that I was pretty much beholden to whatever you were into, being your younger brother. I wasn't ever buying comics, but I was always reading the comics or watching the Marvel shows and playing with the toys and shit as well. But it was pretty much whatever you had, which was often Fantastic Four, X-Men, Spider-Man were the big ones.
Well, and you completely forget, like, this. It's the MCU is so big right now. Like Shang-Chi, I love that movie.
I have no idea what Guardians were or Captain Marvel, really. I knew the original kind of idea of it, and
well, I knew the Captain Marvel
wasn't super familiar.
Well, I knew the Captain Marvel because there's a Captain Marvel in Marvel, and there's a Captain Marvel in DC.
Well, and that's what I'm saying.
So,
I knew
like,
the guy Captain Marvel in Marvel.
They call him Shazam now, right? And it's the same character, right?
Basically, yes.
Shazam.
Yeah, and I knew of Black Panther. Wasn't super familiar, but I loved that
I
movie
knew of
too.
the paramilitary group.
Well, yeah.
The Black Panthers.
Saw ruined your Black Panther party.
Fucking Forrest Gump over here, Lieutenant Dan. No, it's just so
drank me
big.
about 15 Dr. Peppers.
And when you get this big, not everything's going to be great either, right?
I gotta pay.
But I would love to see the 4-hour cut of this movie instead of the 2-hour cut.
I don't know if I would love to see that.
I'm always
to be
down to
honest.
watch some weird cuts.
If they're going to show...
I refused to watch the Zack Snyder cut because I just don't give a fuck. So I
Well, if
probably
they
wouldn't
would
watch
show
this.
Christian Bale fucking killing off a bunch of other gods on other planets, I'm all for it.
Christian Bale recently was like, I might want to play Batman again. And people were like...
saw that. Don't. Just let it go away.
Yeah, it's just...
Headline.
It's not been
Unless
long
you're
enough
gonna-
to be
Hold on.
nostalgic yet
If
either.
you're going to remake the third one, okay. If you're going to erase that one and try again, sure.
Yeah, the thing is, if they did a sequel like that, we would have to have Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Nightwing, or you're fucking the whole thing up and making it boring. And Let's just not. Let's just not go down that road.
Yeah, and they didn't have the fucking balls to do just a Nightwing flick.
Which, again, they
didn't need to, but that's where that would have gone.
This Flash movie is just... We'll see what happens.
They're going to release it.
I can't...
They spent so much money on it, they can't
They're pretty much already said it.
Yeah, I know, but they haven't... They still got to be panicking about this situation because they can't really do press for this.
Well, it's like a year away, though, so I think they're hoping it's going to blow over, and maybe he'll get some help or, whatever. But
honestly, they just need to... You know how they let Zack Snyder go back and pump some of his fucking movie to put it out?
I don't think they want to...
Have somebody fucking go in there, the same fucking people, I don't care. Replace that motherfucker, deep fake his ass, replace his voice, do what you gotta do.
They made the movie before he did this.
Or
right? I mean,
take the footage of...
He's been grooming these people for years.
Take the relevant scenes, and make a new Batman movie out of it.
Yeah, you can have the Flash be in a Batman movie.
You can have the Flash introduce...
You can have the Flashpoint story
Batman
with
to
Batman.
this universe, and then he leaves and fucks off.
They just release it and just bite the bullet. Just release it.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't want to pay money for that.
Yeah.
Sucks.
But he's already got the money, so it doesn't matter.
Not necessarily. He probably has...
He might get more money, sure. I guess,
yeah.
The only thing
they can't find him to give him the money, so it's not going to happen.
I was super surprised that they show off at the end of the Thor that, they wrap up. The post-credit scenes were underwhelming. I just didn't care about them.
Yeah.
Well, the last one, definitely. I knew she was going to Valhalla. He didn't have to fucking show me. If anything, that just undermined it, I think, because it's kind of goofy.
Well, it takes away from the Marvel of the end of the Marvel movies where you get that, right? It's just like, oh, that one was kind of boring.
They've been seeming like doing that a lot lately, where I'm like, I can't believe I sat through the credits for that. I don't fucking give a shit.
I like to sit through them anyway, just because it's a lot of people working.
Yeah, I don't
really
like to leave at the same time as people other leave.
Like, I remember the Spider-Man Homecoming one was
I usually sit
Captain
through
America
anyway,
coming out there and doing some dumb shit. It was nothing with plot. But if it's funny, it's interesting still.
Yes.
Like Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Obviously, the ones where they reveal stuff where it's like, oh, we're watching the end of Iron Man 2 and they found Thor's hammer, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's the shit everybody wants, let's be honest. But
yeah, and
you
then,
can't do that every time, I guess.
Well, having Hercules, and they're like, what's the timeline then for that? Is that going to be the next Thor movie because Thor will return and you've introduced Hercules as a character? But they've introduced so many characters now, like, when's all this going to happen?
Well, like,
so much.
Right. Adam Warlock is in the next Guardians movie, but that seems like it was forever ago, too. When those people from Guardians 2 were building him at the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because it's like real time in these movies. So like the years go by between movies
and Guardians 2 actually takes place like 6 months after Guardians 1, so that's actually like 8 years ago in the timeline. Because they're in like 2024 because of the 5-year blip. So it's actually almost like 10 years since the first Guardians movie took place in their timeline. They're ahead of our years now. It's like 2024 or 25 at this point in the MCU.
Jesus.
Crazy shit.
It's fucking weird.
Well, that's what I've got to say about Thor. So let us know what you thought about it in the comments below.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens with more Marvel stuff.
Quantumania. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I am looking forward to that.
We'll see what happens there.
That's about it.
I'm looking forward to She-Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
That's a TV show, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But still.
I can watch that from the comfort of my home.
When I need to
don't
finish,
have to deal with morons. At the
I need to finish
theater.
Miss Marvel. I've liked what I've seen so far. It's a little different, a little more down to earth, but that's how the MCU started.
Do they release that all at once, or is it still going weekly?
No, it's one week at a time.
So it's still going.
There's like 3 or 4 out now. I don't know.
I think the last one's next week. Maybe there's only 5 episodes. I think in the series.
Oh, only 5. Okay, that's good.
Well, she's gonna be in the Marvels movie, right?
Yes, she is in that. Yes.
So makes sense.
I better watch it so I know what's going on.
Yep.
You still need to get caught up on Hawkeye.
I gotta watch Hawkeye. I gotta watch Moon Knight, and I gotta watch the rest of those cartoons. The What Ifs.
You got a lot.
And I
of
got
stuff
more What Ifs coming.
Yep.
I still think the Captain America series is my favorite.
The Captain America series?
Well, the Falcon and Winter Soldier series.
That's all right. Yeah.
I think it's my favorite overall of these.
That's probably my favorite.
The
of what
TV
I've
series
seen,
ones.
That's the interesting thing for me is I haven't revisited these, but now that they're all out, I could pretty much just stream
I
them.
revisited that one and the Hawkeye one. Is the only ones I've rewatched.
Hawkeye I enjoyed a lot. Hawkeye was fun. Seeing some small stake stuff is great, but at the same time, like you got to remember, like the small stake stuff is great.
What's this?
And then you can
Well,
do
it's
the
just
stuff
like-
that's like Thor is so absurd because you have that option now because we're into
Yeah, I'm
it.
not even thinking about that. Like when I think of Captain America, the stuff I'm thinking about, it's all like the personal stuff with him and his development, and that with being a black Captain America is just they handled that. I love it.
What's this Echo series coming that's going to have Daredevil and
Echo is from
D'Onofrio as Kingpin again?
Echo's the villain from Ant-Man 2, right?
Oh, and then he's going to have his own series.
Pretty sure she's getting her own series.
Echo is, yeah. And then Daredevil and Kingpin are in it.
Interesting. Yeah, Kingpin's in Hawkeye.
Yeah, and he's going to have a patch over his eye in this new show because I guess he got his eye shot out. So.
Yeah, they're going to start bringing in some of those other Netflix
and I
MCU
guess
series.
He's looking for Jessica Jones. Daredevil is in this. I don't know.
Yeah,
she's going to tie in as well. I never watched.
Probably see Daredevil and She-Hulk also.
Yeah,
because she's a lawyer
attorneys,
as well.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to slowly bring in Daredevil again.
Well, people
to all
seem
this.
to particularly like him out of all those shows.
He was great. I love that series too.
And he was in Spider-Man, of course.
I'd be okay. I didn't watch a lot of those. I need to watch them, but I'd also be okay with it if they brought that Punisher over.
Yeah, the Punisher would be fine.
I didn't like the second season, but I liked him as Punisher.
That's what I mean. Like I watched enough to know that I liked him as the Punisher, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I watched all the Iron Fist, but that was so awkwardly written, and like the pacing and tempo issues in there were terrible. But I didn't hate it as much as a lot of the people did. I just thought it was awkward with some of the.
And then we have Blade eventually coming still.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's going on with that? That's a movie, right?
And that Morbius and Venom movies that are still trying to cross over into our universe. Remember from the Spider-Man shit?
Yep.
Like that's, oh my god, I don't know what they're fucking doing with all this shit. And we're supposed to have Fantastic Four and X-Men. It's like the universe is...
My head's going to explode.
It is so big at this point. It's like, how are superheroes just not bumping into people on the streets doing other superhero shit?
Well,
how are not other superheroes not watching the news and just seeing all this other crazy shit happening?
Yeah,
like,
Spider-Man needs help. I'm going to go help him out.
I thought that was
because there's so many of them.
I thought that was a more glaring issue in Thor because he's trying to recruit gods for a team. It's like, why aren't you recruiting the fucking Avengers or these other people you know?
There's a
or
couple
calling the
people.
Guardians back in.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He'd call the Guardians back in, or they'd come save his ass at the end. I'm like, you went through the trouble of
I was
having
thinking that
getting...
there was a small chance of that, and I was hoping for it, but...
I mean, when you're specifically saying
Also,
I need to
okay,
gather
I
up
get
a
it.
team,
I get it.
he doesn't even try to gather his own teammates or the people he knows. He's trying to recruit these gods he doesn't know. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's literally none of the 400 Avengers.
And why would you want to recruit the gods that Gore's trying to kill? Bring them to him. Why bring these other superheroes that he's not after?
Well, yeah, and I knew Zeus wasn't dead because I thought Gore would have been like fucking ecstatic about him killing him.
Yeah, I was wondering if Zeus was actually dead or not.
You know, because it just seemed like that lightning bolt went through him, and I was like, man, Gore would have been like, you fucking killed the worst of them all for me. Thank you.
Yeah, you're not so bad. You want to join me?
And I think that's also part of the redemption arc, though, is that he knows he attacked him, maybe, but like he, you know, a god was willing to kill another god over, you know, that. I don't know.
Rock man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm running out of ideas and we're rambling, so let's wrap it up.
Well, that was our
Wrap
thoughts
it up.
on MCU 29.
Obviously, with San Diego Comic-Con coming up, we're going to see all kinds of stuff at the Marvel panel there, so we'll have plenty of content to talk about here soon.
I'm stoked for that Secret Invasion show, too.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
that'll be good.
Be good.
Secret Invasion.
All right, well, I guess
We will see you soon.
we're going to go out of here with some
yeah,
some
play some
tunes
music.
tonight.
I lived in 1998. I got an N64 and that shit is great. I play GoldenEye
All the time, Koosh Ball, Catwoman, all the shit is mine.
I got Ninja Turtles
On VHS, but let's watch Terminator, cause they have sex. Order up a pizza, let's get creepy, and eat it like they do in a goofy movie. Hold up, wait a minute, Goosebumps is on the tube. Or maybe Fuzzy Cinemax, I wanna see boobs. I'll settle for those awful girls gone wild ads, cause I'm 12 and I think boobs are pretty rad.